All right. uh, Waiting for the session to go up here for the SRX broadcasted race tonight here at Lanier Dirt. Just open up my broadcasting software real quick. Looks like we'll have a nice big field. I believe 14 people registered for this event. And after this, there will only be one more race until the season is over. So the session should be going up at any time. But thank you for tuning in to the live stream here. As now the race session finally goes up. Now just waiting to load in. And yeah, we got a big old field here for what should be a fun race at Lanier Dirt. Usual winner, Landon Moody ain't gonna be here tonight. He said he had personal things that is making him unable, but he showed up to the Wednesday race and won that one. So should be in for a pretty good show here. With some high iRating people making this a very competitive race. All right, we will get a feed in just a moment. So 1 minute left in practice right now. Currently looking at the 4 of James Batzer. Looks like the track is already pretty worn in. So it looks like the high line is going to be the way to go here with how worn down that slick looks. Looking at roll and roll off in the 6th. I believe this is the second time showing up to the broadcast split. But a tough combo here with the SRX cars at Lanier Dirt. Very easy to get these cars all sorts of crossed up. Looking at the 10 of Wesley Dunphy. Trying to get around the 15 of Storms. And sends it into turn 1, spins out. Doesn't matter. Checkered flag is out for practice. We'll be going to qualifying very shortly. Let's see who chooses to go out on track first. Let's take a look at Warren Roloff as he'll try to set a fast lap here. So starting up top, getting that rear end close to that core start to get a good run for his first lap. And yeah, it looks like that high line is going to be where most people are going to migrate. See the slick kind of taper off near the end of the corner. So maybe we'll see people cut down on exit across the slick, but I don't think we'll get anything super crazy. Warren Roloff with a 16.834 currently in third place as he goes through the slick on his flying lap to try to get a better time. Gets a little bit too rotated, And that would definitely be slower than his next one. Looking at the one of Braden E. Carter. Did a 16.556 running that high side. So he's currently on pole provisionally at least. And he's really getting that the right rear into the course dirt for that extra grip. And let's see what he sets across the line. A 581 for the one car. So it looks like for the time being he will be starting on pole. Michael D. Carter. I don't know if him and Braden are related, but two car looking to set a fast lap. Gets a little sideways. Will he tow the car? No, he won't. And I forgot to change it to time remaining. There we go. So we still got 3 minutes left in qualifying. Kyle Hardy in the 3 car just crossed the start finish line with a 16.831. Good, or 16.587. I apologize. Good enough to put him in second place. Now back to the 2 of Michael Carter. Pretty clean through 1 and 2. Let's see what he has for 3 and 4. Another solid set of corners. Let's see what this nets him. A 16.708. That's going to put him third. So he's going to start right behind Braden Carter on that inside line. James Batzler in the 4 car starting his first lap, getting that right rear into that course, or not that course dirt, that loose dirt. Got a little bit sideways through the center of the corner. Let's see what this lap notes is. 797. Still keeping it off the wall. That's what's important. Really flings it into 3 and 4. Should be a faster lap. It looked faster, but he did scrape the wall a little bit. A 785 for James Bassett, but it looks like it did not count. So that will put him in 8th place. And look at Dennis Mickelson. Very good dirt road driver. Currently in 4th right now with a 16.731. Trying to get some more laps under his belt for the broadcast here. We have a minute left in qualifying. But I think a lot of people are going to try to get their right rear into that loose dirt, that dark dirt at the top of the track as much as possible until there's practically none left. We might see people try to use the slicker run a lower line, but I just don't think that the speed is there. But 20 seconds left. People finishing up their practice. Looking at the 8 of Chapman. Getting some last minute practicing, getting really close to the wall there. But qualifying is over, so we will go to your starting lineup real quick. Starting on the pole is Braden E. Carter in the 1 car, then followed by the number 3 car of Kyle Hardy. Starting in 3rd place is Michael D. Carter in the number 2 car, and on his outside is the number 13 of Dennis Mickelson. Inside of row number 3, last car within the top 5 is the number 5 of Connor Boris. On his outside is Andrew Rich in the number 7. James Vining in the 14 starts in 7th in the inside of row number 4, and on his outside is going to be the 4 of James Basser. Inside of row number 5 is going to be the number 10 of Wesley Dunphy, and on his outside is the number 6 of Warren Roloff, rounding out your top 10. First car outside of the top 10 is going to be the number 9 of Zach Hummel, then followed by the number 12 of Henry Brady, starting in 12th. Inside of row number 7 is going to be Andrew Chapman, and on his outside is going to be the 15 of Ethan Storm, starting in 14th. And round out your field in 15th is the number 11 of Alexander Schwartz. Jeez, trying to find a good camera for this. Really giving me a whole lot of options here. We got a 45 lap event here at Lanier Dirt. And it's going to be Braden E. Carter on the point, leading everyone to the green flag. This field of, it seems like 14 cars. Looks like Alexander Schwartz is not going to be starting this race. So 14 cars here. So this track is going to wear very quickly. And we might see some drastic line changes coming to the conclusion of this event. But pace car is pulling in and just waiting for Braden Carter to hit the lap pedal, and he's going to go pretty early. Kyle Hardy with a great start on his outside, about dead even between the two. Coming into turn 1, Braden Carter with the good entry into turn 1, but here comes Kyle Hardy in the 3 car all the way on that bottom. Might be able to get the move done on exit. No, he won't. Braden Carter with that big run off the top is going to hold off Hardy across the line. Hardy doing a good job of running below that slick, using that far bottom lane. But he kind of travels up into it, and here comes Hardy with the big run out of the corner, and he's going to be well clear of the 3 car. But now Hardy gonna try running the top in 1 and 2, and then slides it into 3 and 4. Both cars getting very sideways. Hardy gets more sideways than anyone else. But they're keeping it a battle here, and Michael Carter in 3rd, trying to catch up to these two battling as Hardy does a slide job on Braden Carter. Very clean racing, but give the advantage to Kyle Hardy on the top side now, as now slider from the 1 of Braden Carter, and now Hardy going to do the crossover, going to get clear of that 1 car. Here comes Hardy down on the bottom. Will he slide up in front of Carter on exit? Yes, he will. So give the lead to Kyle Hardy in front of Braden Carter. But oh, Hardy gets a little bit sideways, has to do a correction in center of the corner. That's going to allow Carter to make the move to the inside. Slider from the 1 car, keeping it off the wall. Hardy's going to be nosing ahead at the line. Diving to the inside goes the 3 car. Big slider from the 3, keeps it off the wall. Here comes the crossover from the 1 car for the lead. This has brought Michael Carter in the 2 into the fold here, as now Braden Carter running that high side. Here comes another crossover from that 3 car. From the bottom to the top, these guys are going, but Braden Carter gets in the wall. This is going to give the advantage to Kyle Hardy in that 3 car. And now Michael Carter going to be all over the back end of Braden, and this also brings Dennis Mickelson in the mix. Good run from that 13 car. But Braden Carter running that bottom lane. He's ahead about 3/4 of the way through the corner. But that run out of the corner from that high line is doing wonders for Kyle Hardy in the 3. But I'd say that the top 4 pretty much nose to tail, essentially. You saw Mickelson get in the wall a little bit, as now Hardy starting to extend his lead, running through that slick and then up into the top side. Big run from that 1 car, right to his back bumper, though. As you can see, Braden Carter getting in the wall just a little bit. And that consistency that Kyle Hardy has is paying off in dividends right now. Further back through the field, James Batzer trying to claw his way Oh, he gets together with Warren Roloff. Oh, Batzer's around trying to save it. Oh, collects the 12 of Brady. Nowhere for Brady to go. But looks like both cars get back going relatively quickly. I don't think Warren Roloff really expected the 4 car to turn down like that and kind of just met in the middle between the two crossing lines. But at the front, Braden Carter having the fight of his life trying to catch Kyle Hardy, and here comes Michael Carter all the way on the bottom in that ghost car, but he loops it around and he gets parked on the bottom. He's gonna have to get it going soon. But Braden Carter trying to close the gap to Kyle Hardy as Michael Carter's still around, as he's received a meatball flag and he's had to tow it to the pit lane. I don't know if someone hit him or not. Oh no, Dennis Mickelson has received a meatball flag. I don't know from what, but he's gonna pull it off into the access road. Unfortunate for that 13 car. But now lap traffic getting out of the way. That is the 8 of Chapman pulling off to the bottom, running his own race right now in 11th. But for the lead, it's still Hardy and Carter. And Hardy is just getting so close to that wall. He's running that high line so well. And then cutting down to the bottom. Looks like that's what's working really well for that 3 car. You can see that right rear just scraping the wall a little bit, and he's just hauling on that top side in 3 and 4. Battle for third has heat up between Andrew Rich and Connor Boris. Rich with the run on the outside, Boris in the 5 car, or that what looks like the 12 car, that Ryan Blaney car, all the way on the bottom, trying to just inch past that 7 car. He keeps getting great runs on that high side, but he's gonna get it done. So move that 5 car up into the 3rd position here, as they're trying to get around Henry Brady without a front end. But back for the lead, both cars running the high line in 3 and 4, as Braden Carter going to try to run the high line in 1 and 2, gets a little bit too eager and gets into the wall, but closes that gap right up. As you can see now, Kyle Hardy trying to run the slick through 3 and 4. And I tell you what, Braden Carter's doing a great job of planning that 1 car, that right rear right into the loose dirt up top to get some extra grip. But how long can Kyle Hardy sustain this pace? Because he's had to hold off that 1 car for pretty much the entire race. And running about the same lap times too. Something worth mentioning is that the 5 of Connor Boris is running very fast, running that slippery slick line right there, running about a half a tenth slower than the leaders. As here comes Carter to the inside, not able to get it done. More off corner speed on that high line with that number 3 car, and defensive line from the 3. As they approach the lap car of, I believe that's Zach Hummel in the number 9. As you can see, Carter getting into the wall a little bit, feeding that right rear into the concrete. And now here comes Carter running that high line when Hardy's running the slick. See the lap time difference. Carter just a little bit faster that lap. You'll need to keep chaining together laps like that if you wants to close the gap to something even closer between him and the 3. But while that is going on, James Batzer trying to make a move on Wesley Dunphy for the 6th position, and without a front end, makes a little bit of contact with Dunphy, but he is working his way back through the field without that front end. Someone else who is working his way up, number 6 of Warren Roloff, catching the number 7 of Rich, but battle for the lead. Heating up right here. Big slider from Carter was in the works, but he had to bail out of it. Would not have been clear. But now to the inside goes Carter. Here comes Hardy with the crossover back to the inside. Now Carter running the top. And now the slide coming from Hardy. Not able to get all the way up there. Big run from that one car. He's going to pull ahead right at the line. And a little bit of contact with the wall. But that crossover coming for that one car. Side by side for the lead here. Between the 1 and the 3. 1 not clear just yet, but he's going to be clear entering the corner. He gets really sideways on entry. The 3 is going to be able to chop it down to the inside. They're going to be 3 wide with a lap car. Oh, that was close, but they're able to keep it clean as they get around Henry Brady. And now Braden Carter on the back foot having to get back around Hardy across the line. Great racing for the lead here as Kyle Hardy gets the run back to the inside of the 1 car, coming into 3 and 4. Slider from the 3, loading up right here. Doesn't overcook it, keeps it off the wall, but here comes Carter back to the inside. 11 laps to go here at Lanier Dirt. And now, once again, more crossing over happening. There's more crossovers happening here than in the Wednesday race. And I thought a lot happened in the Wednesday race, but here comes the 1 of Carter back to the inside of Hardy. These guys are swapping positions like crazy, and it's for the lead in the broadcasted split. Great racing that we're having here tonight at Lanier Dirt. Slider from the 3, and the crossover loading up from that 1 car. Hardy leads across the line, but Carter going to make it work in the exit of 2, but he's going to have to go high as Hardy runs to the bottom, and now Hardy sliding up top. At center corner speed from that high line is very powerful, but it's going to be Hardy leading across the line. Crossover through the slick from Hardy to the inside of Carter. These guys are mixing it up here. As, Hardy gets into the wall just a little bit. This is going to allow Carter to pull ahead at the stripe. But is he clear? Looks like he's going to be clear for right now, but not with this huge run coming from the 3. Nice clean racing from the 1, not to block that massive run that the 3 was generating on that high side. Here comes the 3 on the bottom. They're neck and neck across the line. 6 laps to go here at Lanier Dirt. As the 1 scrapes the wall, Braden Carter and Kyle Hardy putting on a show for the viewers tonight. As they both enter 3 and 4, Hardy up top in the blue car. Gonna have the advantage across the line by a nose, and now slider coming from the 1 of Carter. Hardy gonna get out of the gas and make the crossover happen. Coming into turn 3 to 4 laps to go here at Lanier Dirt. Coming up on lap traffic of Chapman once again. Carter sliding from bottom to top, and Hardy coming from top to middle to bottom here. As he's going to fling it in to get around Chapman, and Carter barely keeps it off the wall. Great driving from both the 3 and the 1 here. 3 laps to go as Carter really sends it in. Big run coming from Hardy in the 3 car. Side by side as Hardy clears the 1 entering turn 3, but he's going to have to lose a lot of momentum on that high side since he entered low. Carter back to the inside. 2 laps to go here at Lanier Dirt. The pressure is mounting as Braden Carter and Kyle Hardy do battle like they've been doing for the entire race. Hardy with the slider up top. Now it's Carter to the inside. White flag in the air here at Lanier Dirt in the SRX broadcast race. This is a race to remember here. Hardy with a big run to the inside. The crossover going to happen. Carter going to try one last-ditch effort as Hardy slides up to the top. Carter going to turn it down. Hardy gets into the wall. They're going to be side-by-side across the line. Give the win to Kyle Hardy. What a race between the 1 and the 3 car in the broadcasted split. That was a finish and a half. A battle that was brewing the entire race. Nice, clean, fair racing between these 2 drivers. And it's going to end up with that 3 car in victory lane. I would say with how good these drivers race each other, both drivers should do burnouts, because that was some nice, clean dirt racing that we saw here. But let's get your results on the board. So in first is going to be Kyle Hardy, then followed by Braden Carter. Only 1/10 of a second separating both of them. Great race between the two. I might submit that for an iRacing top 10. Maybe we'll get a nice little dirt battle for, to get some SRX visibility. In third, with a drive that didn't really get remarked on much because we were just focused on the battle for first place, Warren Roloff goes from 10th to 3rd. So good drive for that number 6 car. In fourth is the 7 of Andrew Rich, then followed by the number 4 of James Bassett, who came back from damage to a 5th place finish. Good run for him. Connor Boris in 6th in that number 5 car was up to 3rd, fell back to 6th, then followed by Wesley Dunphy and Zach Hummel 7th and 8th respectively for the 10 and 9 cars. And then Andrew Chapman 1 lap down in that 8 car, then followed by Henry Brady in the 12 car, rounding out short top 10. First car outside of the top 10 is James Vining in the 14, then followed by Dennis Mickelson, Michael Carter, Ethan Storms, and Alexander Schwartz, who did not start this race. So with that all said and done, I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you for tuning out. This was one heck of a race to show, and I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed broadcasting. Thanks for watching. Big thanks to Nico Cipollini for making this all happen, making the SRX alive again. Big thanks to SKS Graphics and Andrew Schulte, and thank you for watching. My name is Garrett Hess, and I will see you next week when we close out the season at Langley.